What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing the next upcoming game for the Chicago Bulls in the Summer League, and we are versing the Toronto Raptors. Now, look, if you're looking at the last Summer League game against the New York Knicks, I think we can all say it definitely wasn't our best. It was definitely an atrocious performance, and many people turned it off from the very beginning because of how bad we actually played. But nevertheless, in this type of instance, we need to look for a response. So, as I did for the first game with Dallas compared to the Knicks, I talked about the improvements that need to be made. And I'm going to do the same in this video where we talk about the improvements that need to be made for the Bulls against the Toronto Raptors. Now, before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls' chances in this next upcoming game against the Toronto Raptors. Is it a high one? Is it a low one? And your overall thoughts and opinions on what we can actually do to improve in the next game. Now, the best thing about Summer League is that it's not necessarily about the wins and the losses, as I said before, but I think just as personal pride kicks in, when you do get blown out that badly, you want a really strong performance in the next game. Not only do you want a strong performance, I think for players' egos as well, just as much as anything, you want to make sure that your performance individually is fantastic as well. So I think that's the first thing I'm looking for in terms of improvements. I think individual performances from some of these guys will have to improve, whether that's being able to reduce turnovers in Dale and Terry's case, whether that's being able to get in the offense in Marco's case compared to the Knicks game. He only had 1 point. You'd like to see that bolstered up. And maybe just overall improvements everywhere else from other players as well. Maybe it comes down to just making more shots, or maybe it's getting that extra pass in, maybe that's making the right play, maybe that's contributing more on defense, maybe that's rebounding a little bit, playing more physical. Again, individual performances, I'd like to see all of these things in one way or another improve for that next game against the Toronto Raptors. The New York Knicks was a very interesting case because, again, from what I heard, they were a very experienced team heading into this Summer League team. A lot of second-year guys, a lot of players that are fighting for positions on the New York Knicks team, and they were a very talented group. They competed well last year in the Summer League, and they absolutely destroyed the Chicago Bulls this time around in the Summer League. So we've got to make sure that, again, I'm not sure what the Toronto Raptors level is going to be like in the Summer League. I believe they beat the Philadelphia 76ers Summer League team, so that's something you got to watch out for. They do have a win on their radar as well, but you're hoping to just bring that fight to them. You want to make sure that they're the ones that are going to be fighting for every single point that they get. You want to be the ones to make sure that your energy will overrun them, will consume them, will make them make those difficult decisions, will make them force turnovers. Because I do feel like even in the game that we won, we committed so many turnovers because teams actually inflict their physicality on us. Teams actually inflict their defensive presence on us, and I want us to do that to other teams. We did well against Dallas. Obviously, they weren't as experienced as the New York Knicks, but we did not do a good job with that on the New York Knicks as well. Even though they had more experience, I think there were so many opportunities in which they got easy shots. Most of them were layups. Some of them were three-point shots. But every single shot that I felt the New York Knicks took was extremely easy. So I'm hoping that we're making the Toronto Raptors work very hard to actually perform, I guess, in this next game, and make sure that they're ones that are going to be feeling the pressure. And the last thing I kind of want to discuss is just making sure that we get that attitude back, that confidence back. I felt like we also felt defeated from the very beginning of the game. Again, we started off terribly, and I do kind of feel like, again, as a young team, you might have been overthinking a little bit. You might have been thinking in your head a bit too much about, man, this team was very good last year in the Summer League. I don't think we could beat this team, or something like that. It's already instilled in your mind that you're not going to win, and therefore you don't win. Look, again, it's young players, and they'll have to learn very quickly, especially at the NBA level. Any team can beat any team on any given night. It's not a foregone conclusion that you walk away with wins that you're supposed to, and it's not a foregone conclusion that you lose games you're supposed to as well. So I'm hoping that the attitude will be right heading into this next game as well. The attitude was great against Dallas, a terrific comeback performance where we played really hard and we worked very hard as well. I'm hoping that's the Chicago Bulls Summer League team I'll see. And if we do get that response that we want, if we end up winning this game against Toronto, we come back from a terrible performance against the Knicks, and we come back and we beat the Raptors, whether it's by a close margin or comfortably, that's the real, I think, sight I want to see. I often say wins and losses don't necessarily matter, and maybe for the actual Summer League it doesn't, but I think for the Bulls players, this result matters. This next game matters to these players, because I think it's a really upsetting sight to see if we get blown out by the Knicks and instantly in the next game we get blown out by the Raptors as well. I don't think that should be happening for this young team. So I'm hoping that attitude will be there. I'm hoping we can kickstart that next game very quickly. I hope we have a tremendous start and I hope we maintain it as well. I'm looking for that response, as I said in the Knicks game reaction and multiple times in this video, and it all comes down to whether or not we see it. If we don't see it, I will actually consider, even though the fourth game, whatever happens in the fourth game happens, I'll consider this Summer League fairly disappointing, and to be honest, if we don't really see that fight, that energy, and that response that we want. And that's what I really hope will happen. I don't know what the Raptors team looks like, I've got to be honest. I don't know if they're going to be a team to watch out for, if they're not a great team at all. All I know is they've beaten the Philadelphia 76ers. So they've got to win on their boards. They've got to win in terms of their Summer League experience. And I'm sure they'll be coming into this team, into this league, against us fairly confident. So we got to make sure we can put out that fire right away. Let's see what we can do. That's all I'm going to discuss in relation to this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.